మూర్తులు మూరు మొక్కేరు నీకు జనులందరూ స్తుతించేరుని.
మూర్తరు మూరు మొక్కేరు నీకు జనులందరూ స్తుతించేరుని.
మూర్తులు మూరు మొక్కేరు నీకు.
Good morning and welcome to our seminar this morning. As you can see, we'll be seeing a video of Ammachi this morning. But first we'll enter that space of the awareness, of awareness. And as we do that, we can use that mantra, Ma, to enter that space. Breathing in Ma, breathing out Om, clear light. Breathing in Ma, breathing out Om, clear light. Breathing in Ma, breathing out Om, clear light. And then the breath becomes quieter and quieter. The mantra becomes less mental. And we begin to feel the vibration of the mantra in the body. Opening that space of the awareness. So we extend up and extend down through the whole body. Feeling the vibration of the mantra, Ma, Om, in the body, in the field around us. We extend to the person on our right. Across the room, to the left, all around the room. To the people coming in on the Zoom. Good morning. We extend to people coming in. As they extend to us right now. And then sensing the energy, the mantra, the vibration of the mantra in the field around us. We pull the vibration into the top of the head, down through the forehead, through the face, through the throat, down into the heart, down into the belly, into the lower body. And we settle in. We open. Into the heart. And as we do that, the light appears. The light becomes stronger and stronger. We extend our generational field, that field of the ancestors, the family, the friends, the great yogis that we've known in our life, like Amma. So this morning we're going to see a video. This was done in 2004. Amma was giving a keynote at the Ecumenical Council in Barcelona. So we'll start that video now.
Mata Amritanandamari, known around the world as Amma.
പ്രേമസ്വരൂപങ്ങളും ആത്മസ്വരൂപങ്ങളായിരിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. ഇത്തരം സമ്മേളനങ്ങൾ സംഘടിപ്പിക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞ ഇവിടുത്തെ സംഘാടക മക്കൾക്ക് അവരുടെ ത്യാഗത്തെയും പ്രകടിപ്പിച്ച് വർണ്ണിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നതല്ല, വാക്കിനതീതമാണ്.
Amma bows down to all of you who are truly the embodiments of pure love and the supreme consciousness. The effort and self-sacrifice of those amongst you who were capable of organizing an enormous event such as this are beyond description. Amma simply bows down before such selflessness. Our God-given abilities are a treasure that is meant for ourselves as well as for the entire world. This wealth should never be misused and made into a burden for us and for the world. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. The greatest tragedy is to let our great potential, talents and capabilities go unused, to allow them to rust while we live. When we use the wealth obtained from nature, it diminishes, but when we use the wealth of our inner gifts, it increases. But are we really using our abilities? What has always been the aim of humanity? What do we humans yearn to reach? Has it not always been our goal to obtain as much happiness and contentment as possible in both our personal lives and for society as a whole? But where do we stand today? Most of us move from one mistake to another, which only makes our problems worse. Every country has tried to increase its power in politics, the military and weaponry, economics, science and technology. Is there any area we have yet to test and explore? We are all so focused on these things. And having tried these methods for so long, have we achieved any real peace or contentment? The answer is no. Time has proven that these methods alone cannot secure our contentment. Only if spiritual power, with which we have never before experimented, is allowed to grow alongside all those different areas, can we attain the peace and contentment that we seek. In reality, there is only one difference between people in wealthy countries and people in poor countries. While people in wealthy countries are crying in air-conditioned rooms and palatial mansions, those who live in poor countries are crying on the dirt floors of their huts. One thing is clear, that people who once had every hope to smile and be happy are now shedding tears in many parts of the world. Sorrow and suffering are becoming the hallmark of many countries. It is senseless to blame all this on religion alone. A major cause of these problems is how people have interpreted religion and spirituality. Today we search outwardly for the causes and solutions to all the problems of the world. In our haste, we forget the greatest truth of all, that the source of all problems is to be found within the human mind. We forget that the world can become good only if the mind of the individual becomes good. So along with an understanding of the outer world, it is essential that we also get to know the inner world. There was once a function to inaugurate a new supercomputer. After the inauguration, the participants were told that they could ask the supercomputer any question and it would come up with the answer in seconds. People did their best to ask the computer the most complicated questions relating to science, history, geography, and so on. As soon as each question was posed, the answer would pop up on the screen. Then a child stood up and asked the supercomputer a simple question. "Hello, supercomputer, how are you today?" But this time there was no response. The screen remained blank. The computer could answer questions about everything except itself. Most of us live in a state similar to that of the computer. Along with our understanding of the outside world, we need to develop knowledge about the inner world. When our phone is out of order, we call the phone company to repair it. When our cable TV fails to clearly receive TV programs, the cable company helps us. And when our internet connection isn't working, a computer expert fixes it. In a similar way, spirituality is the means by which our inner connection with the divine is restored. The science of spirituality puts the remote control of our mind back into our hands. There are two types of education: education for a living and education for life. When we study in college, striving to become a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, that is education for a living. But education for life requires an understanding of the essential principles of spirituality. It is about gaining a deeper understanding of the world, our minds, our emotions, and ourselves. We all know that the real goal of education is not to create people who understand only the language of technology. The main purpose of education should be to impart a culture of the heart, a culture based on spiritual values. Viewing religion only outwardly creates more and more division. We need to see and understand the inside, the essence of religion, from a spiritual perspective. Only then will the sense of division come to an end. Where there is division, there cannot be any real spiritual experience. And where there is true spiritual experience, there will be no division, only unity and love. Religious leaders should be prepared to work on the basis of this knowledge and make their followers aware of these truths. The problem arises when we say, our religion is right, yours is wrong. This is like saying, my mother is good, yours is a prostitute. Love and compassion are the very essence of all religions. What then is the need for us to compete? Love is our true essence. Love has no limitations such as religion, race, nationality, or caste. We are all beads strung together on the same thread of love. To awaken this unity and to spread the love that is our inherent nature to others, this is the true aim of human life. Indeed, love is the only religion that can help humanity rise to great and glorious heights. Love should be the one thread on which all religions and philosophies are strung together. The beauty of society lies in the unity of our hearts. There is so much diversity in Sanatana Dharma, India's ancient spiritual tradition. Every person is unique and has a different mental constitution. The seers of old provided us with a multitude of paths, so that each individual could choose the way most suitable for him or her. All locks cannot be opened with the same key, nor does everyone like the same type of food or clothing. This diversity holds equally true for spirituality. The same path is not suitable for everyone. Meetings and conferences such as this need to place more emphasis on spirituality, on the inner essence of religion. This is the only way to achieve peace and unity. This conference shouldn't be just a meeting of bodies. On an occasion such as this, a true meeting should take place, one in which we can see and know each other's hearts. Communication through technology has made people in distant places seem very close. Yet, because of the lack of communication of our hearts, even those who are physically close to us can seem very far away. So this should not be an ordinary conference where everyone talks, nobody listens, and everyone disagrees. Listening to each other is important. We may see and hear many things in the world, but we shouldn't meddle in the affairs of others because that can have dangerous consequences. Amma remembers a story. A man walked past a mental hospital when he heard a voice groaning, 13, 13, 13, 13. The man went closer to locate where the sound was coming from. He saw a hole in the wall and realized that the sound was coming from the other side. Out of curiosity, he put his ear into the hole, hoping to hear better. Suddenly, something bit him hard on the ear. As he screamed in pain, the voice groaned, 14, 14, 14, 14. Thus, we should use our power of discrimination to distinguish between what we should or should not pay attention to. The true religious leaders love and even worship the whole of creation, seeing everything as God consciousness. They see the unity underlying all diversity. But nowadays, many religious leaders misinterpret the words and experiences of the ancient seers and prophets, and they exploit weak-minded people. Religion and spirituality are the key with which we can open our hearts and see everyone with compassion. But our minds, being blinded by selfishness, have lost their proper judgment. Our vision has become distorted, and this attitude will only serve to create more darkness. Using that very same key that is meant to open our hearts, our indiscriminate mindset locks our hearts shut instead. There is a story about 4 men who were on their way to attend a religious conference and had to spend the night together on an island. It was a bitter cold night. Each traveler carried a matchbox and a small bundle of firewood in his pack, but each one thought he was the only one who had firewood and matches. One of them thought, "Judging from the medallion around that man's neck, I would say he is from some other religion. If I start a fire, he will also benefit from the warmth. Why should I use my precious wood to warm him?" The second man thought, "That person is from the country that has always fought against us. I wouldn't dream of using my wood to make him comfortable." The third man looked at one of the others and thought, "I know that fellow. He belongs to a sect that always creates problems in my religion. I'm not going to waste my wood for his sake." The fourth man thought, "That man has a different skin color, and I hate that. There's no way I'm going to use my wood for him." In the end, not one of them was willing to light his wood to warm the others, and so by morning they all froze to death. Similarly, we harbor enmity toward others in the name of religion, nationality, color, and caste, without showing any compassion toward our fellow beings. Modern society is like a person suffering from a severe fever. As the fever increases, the person utters words that make no sense. Pointing at a chair on the floor, she may ask, "Why is that chair flying?" What answer can we give? How can we prove to her that the chair isn't flying? There's only one way to help her. We have to give her the necessary medicine to bring down the fever, and once the fever is reduced, everything will return to normal. Today, people are suffering from the fever of selfishness, greed, and unrestrained desire. Religion and spirituality form the path that helps to transform the anger within us into compassion, our hatred into love, our lustful thoughts into divine thoughts, and our jealousy into sympathy. Yet, in our present deluded mental state, most of us do not understand this. Society is comprised of individuals. It is the conflict in the individual mind that manifests outwardly as war. When individuals change, society will automatically change. Just as hatred and vengefulness exist in the mind, peace and love can also exist in the mind. To wage wars, we spend billions of dollars and engage countless people. Think of how much attention and intense effort goes into that process. If we were to use even a fraction of that money and effort for the sake of world peace, we could definitely bring about peace and harmony in this world. Every country spends huge amounts on building security systems. Security is indispensable, but the greatest security of all comes when we imbibe the spiritual principles and live accordingly. We have forgotten this. Today, the enemies that are attacking us from both within and without cannot be dealt with just by increasing the power of our weapons. We can no longer afford to delay the rediscovery and strengthening of our most powerful weapon, spirituality. This is inherent in us all. There are over 1 billion people in this world suffering from poverty and starvation. This, in truth, is our greatest enemy. Poverty is one of the basic reasons why people commit theft and murder, and why people become terrorists. It is also the reason why people turn to prostitution. Poverty not only affects the body, but also weakens the mind, and such minds are then influenced in the name of religion and injected with the poison of terrorist ideals. Looking at it this way, Amma feels that 80% of the problems in society would be resolved if we were to eradicate poverty. In general, the human race is on a journey without a clear goal. A driver pulled up to an intersection and asked a pedestrian, "Could you tell me where this road leads to?" "Where do you want to go?" asked the pedestrian. "I don't know," replied the driver. "Well then," said the pedestrian, "it obviously doesn't matter which road you take." We shouldn't be like that driver. We need to have a clear goal. Amma is alarmed to see the direction in which the world is heading. If in the future there is a third world war, let it not be a war between nations, but a war against our common enemy, poverty. In today's world, people experience 2 types of poverty. the poverty caused by lack of food, clothing, and shelter, and the poverty caused by lack of love and compassion. Of these two, the second type needs to be considered first, because if we have love and compassion in our hearts, then we will wholeheartedly serve those who suffer from lack of food, clothing, and shelter. It is not the era we live in, but our own compassion that will bring about a change in society. And religion should be able to create more compassionate hearts. This should be the main objective of religion and spirituality. In order to protect this world, we have to choose a path by which we forsake our personal differences and desires. By forgiving and forgetting, we can try to recreate and give new life to this world. Digging up and scrutinizing the past is useless and will benefit no one. We need to abandon the path of vengeance and retaliation and impartially observe the present world situation. Only then can we discover the path to true progress. True unity amongst people and between humanity and nature will come only through our faith in the immense power of the inner self, which is beyond all outward differences. A rainbow gives us visual splendor and also has an inner significance that helps to expand the mind. A rainbow is formed by the convergence of 7 different colors, making it wondrous and beautiful. Similarly, we should be able to accept and appreciate the differences created by religion, nationality, language, and culture. We should join hands, giving primary importance to the well-being of humanity and universal human values. A rainbow appears and dissolves in the sky within minutes. However, within that short span of time, the rainbow is able to make everyone happy. Just like the rainbow, which appears so briefly in the infinite sky, our lifespan, which appears for just a brief moment within the endless span of time, is also very short and insignificant. As long as we live in this world, our greatest and foremost duty is to be of some benefit to others. Only when goodness awakens within the individual will his or her personality and actions attain beauty and strength. There was once a little girl who was permanently in a wheelchair. Her disability made her angry and frustrated with life. All day long she would sit by her window feeling depressed, enviously watching all the other little children as they ran, jumped, skipped, and played with each other. One day she sat gazing through the window. It began to drizzle. Suddenly, a beautiful rainbow appeared in the sky. Instantly, the little girl forgot about her disability and her sorrow. The rainbow filled her with so much happiness and hope. But then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the drizzle stopped and the rainbow vanished. The memory of the rainbow filled the girl with a strange peace and joy. She asked her mother where the rainbow had gone. Her mother answered, "My darling, rainbows are very special creations. They exist only when the sun and rain come together." From then on, the little girl would sit by her window waiting for the sun and the rain to come together. She no longer cared to watch the other children play. Finally, one bright day, it unexpectedly began to rain lightly, and the most heavenly colored rainbow appeared in the sky. The little girl's joy knew no bounds. She called out to her mother to come quickly and take her to the rainbow. Not wanting to disappoint her child, the mother helped her into the car and drove off in the direction of the rainbow. Finally, when they arrived at a point where they had a good view of the rainbow, the mother stopped the car and helped her daughter to get out so that she could enjoy the sight. Gazing up, the child said, "Wondrous rainbow, how is it that you are able to shine so radiantly?" The rainbow replied, "My dear child, I have a very short lifespan. I exist only for a brief span of time when the sun and rain come together. Rather than fret over my short existence, I decided that within my brief lifespan, I want to make as many people as I can as happy as possible. And when I decided to do that, I became radiant and beautiful." Then, even as the rainbow was still speaking, it began to fade, until finally it was no more. The little girl looked up with love and admiration at the spot in the blue sky where the rainbow had just been. From that day on, she was never the same. Instead of feeling dejected and fretting about her disability, she tried to smile and bring happiness to everyone around her. Thus, she found true joy and satisfaction in life. The rainbow was so beautiful because it forgot about itself and lived for the sake of others. Similarly, it is when we forget about ourselves and live for the happiness of others that we experience the real beauty of life. The body will perish whether we work or sit idle. So instead of rusting away without doing anything for society, it is better to wear oneself out in the pursuit of good actions. In Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religion, as Hinduism is called, there is the following mantra: Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. The meaning of this mantra is, may all beings in all the worlds be happy. According to the scriptures of India, there is no difference between the creator and creation, just as there is no difference between the ocean and its waves. The essence of the ocean and its waves are one and the same. It is water. Gold and gold ornaments are the same because gold is the substance of which the ornaments are made. Clay and the clay pot are ultimately the same because the substance of the pot is clay. So, there is no difference between the Creator, or God, and creation. They are essentially one and the same, pure consciousness. So we should learn to love everyone equally, because in essence we are all one, the Atman. We are all one soul or self. Though outwardly everything appears different, inwardly all are manifestations of the Absolute Self. God is not a limited individual who sits alone up in the clouds or on a golden throne. God is the pure consciousness that dwells within everything. We need to understand this truth and thereby learn to accept and to love everyone equally. Just as the sun doesn't need the light of a candle, God doesn't need anything from us. God is the giver of everything. We should move among the suffering people and serve them. There are millions of refugees and destitute people in the world. Governments are trying to help such people in various ways, but the world needs far more people who are willing to work in a spirit of selflessness. At the hands of self-serving people, $1 million becomes only $100,000 by the time the money reaches the people who should benefit from those funds. It is like pouring oil from one container into another, and then into another, and so forth. After doing this many times, there is no oil left, because some of it sticks to each container. But with those who are engaged in selfless service, it is quite different. Such people may receive hundreds of thousands of dollars, but will deliver the equivalent of millions to people in need. This is because their motives are selfless. They simply desire to benefit society. Rather than to take any pay for themselves, they give all they can to those who are suffering. If we have at least a little compassion in our hearts, we should commit ourselves to work an extra half hour a day for the sake of those who are suffering. This is Amma's request. Amma believes that in this way, a solution to all the sorrow and the poverty in the world will be revealed. Today's world needs people who express goodness in their words and deeds. If such noble role models can set an example for their fellow beings, the darkness now prevailing in society will be dispelled, and the light of peace and non-violence will once again illumine this earth. Let us work together toward this goal. May the tree of our life be firmly rooted in the soil of love. Let good deeds be the leaves on that tree. May words of kindness form its flowers, and may peace be its fruits. Let us grow and unfold as one family, united in love, that we may rejoice and celebrate our oneness in a world where peace and contentment prevail. As Amma concludes her words, she would also like to add that, in truth, nothing is the end. Just like the period at the end of a sentence, there is only a short pause, a pause before a new beginning on the path to peace. May divine grace bless us with the strength to carry forth this message. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
was so great. So once again, we focus in on that light in our heart. And as we sit in that light, that compassion does get stronger and stronger. So I'll do that now. So as we've been cultivating the light for some time, we'll focus on family and friends that might be having some difficulties. Focusing that light on them. And we'll also focus once again on the victims of that massacre in Orlando. And on the killer. We'll focus on him removing obscurations to that oneness. And we'll focus on that oneness throughout the world. And so we have one more chant this morning.
One into one, one becomes one. One
Yakira Kadisha Beraza De Echad.
So we'll start to close up right now. If you like, you can rub your hands together. Sealing at the heart, the top of the head, the belly. So thank you all for coming, and we'll see you all next week. Do you have any announcements? Oh, there will be Dakini Day tomorrow. And of course, Amma will be coming to Washington on the 8th and 9th of July. I think next week is July 1st. So the following week, when Amma's here, we will not be having a program because we'll be going there. So just to let you all know that in the future. Okay.